It's a brand new day, and of course, it comes with another opportunity for you to start afresh with a heart of gratitude, only which will attract more things if you really are grateful.
Yes, indeed. Good morning. Welcome. It's Wake Up Nigeria, and as always, we're set to deliver the best when it comes to breakfast TV.
It's Wednesday. I love midweek shows, by the way, and we tailor the show to suit your taste. We have 1 hour 45 minutes to do all of that. Please, we crave your indulgence. Let's entertain you, let's inform you, and also educate.
I see what you did there, tailored to suits, like your tailored suit here. Mike's looking like a snack this morning. We're wondering what the chef's going to be putting together today, but he's going to be hanging out with Winfrey. Hey!
Danny! Danny, what's up, what's up? Then I wish you could jump.
It's the start of a new dawn, a brand new day, and I'm glad to be here. You guys are tailored to suit each other.
Yes!
Danny, I wish you could jump and maybe on the table or something, let them see what that looks like behind. But hey, come on. You'll probably get to see it much later. It's going to be a wonderful show. Stay with us. My name is Mike Mesikeno.
And I'm Titilayo Oyinson. You can, of course, stream the show live. That's on tvcentertainment.tv and, of course, at TVC Connect on Facebook. You can also watch us live on GOTV. You'll find us on Channel 16 or UHF Channel 49.
All right, let's get straight into what we have this morning for you. There's a whole lot. It's Wednesday. We'll kick off with a conversation. Bukola Jolubo from Joshua's Army, an organization committed to raising boys to become wholesome and, of course, exceptional leaders. We have a musical performance, Afro-pop act Ibiye Sahid, popularly known as Seedorf. He'll be here with us this morning to perform.
And then we'll be having a conversation on relationships. We'll be having, after this relationship conversation, we'll be having a conversation with our final guest for the day. And we can't wait for that conversation to begin. Joining us on the couch, we have Themzi Osadebe, CEO of Afro Trap Media. She's a show promoter, someone who's worked with some of our favorite artists as they tour the world. Okay. Well,
Wednesday morning, and the road was quite free getting here this morning, and that is because more cars were in queues than on the road.
Okay.
There's this particular filling station on my way beside the shrine, and the queue was so long, and there's another place where they had not even started selling, but people had already, and it didn't look like they would even sell. But well, when there's no option, when the car can't move, you definitely have to find a way and queue up. So hopefully, by today, tomorrow, in the best case scenario, more filling stations get to sell. I saw something yesterday where I think it was DPP or something. They sealed 1 or 2 filling stations.
Yes.
There's one that was selling at 600 naira, and they filled it. But earlier this morning, I think that was from the GMD of NNPC. Yes, who mentioned that there will be no cap.
Okay.
And since he said there will be no cap on the price, because it's going to be float, and not only NNPC, but every other market, whoever can source at whatever price, also there will be no cap as subsidy has gone off. So I don't know how that will work. I really don't know how that will work, because this was an official statement. He said it, he gave a press conference, and he said that there will be no cap. So we're still trying to figure out how it works.
I think in the end, it's just Nigerians being Nigerians. When things like this happen, I mean, the slightest information that goes out there, everybody's just trying to be careful and trying to stock up and all of that. But in the end, to be honest, we're Nigerians. And I feel, as much as, yes, there be no cap, seems scary, I feel initially it's going to be like, oh, like, what's happening, right? But I feel eventually people are going to settle in, and capitalism, that's something that we can thank God for, because people are definitely going to want to get customers to their side. They're going to want to source of wealth for cheaper sources, and in the end, just try. We'll scale through.
Eventually, hopefully it's going to all level out, but it also means that there's going to be unusual traffic on the roads, because there are queues blocking some particular routes, some junctions. So if you are going out, you might want to, sort of hit the road on time before the roads get too choked. And if you don't need to go out, hey, stay home. Maybe remote work might be a new option for some people.
So I was also going to say we have to start thinking of options for cheaper. I mean, instead of
When they start scare, people,
going out instead of fuel as well.
Yeah.
Options. I mean, we're seeing fossil fuels like different other things.
Green,
coming
yeah,
about.
green,
Why are you
green,
laughing?
green energy,
green energy, different
solar.
Things. Seriously, we'll be surprised how this will actually push us and make us more proactive in that direction.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know people that are actually thinking of having tanks like that and.
No, but really,
said-
so my
someone said,
so
you know-
my mom has been running solar for about a year and a half now, and it greatly reduced the amount that she had to spend on anything else.
Yeah.
You know, so it is helpful to start thinking in that
Yes, in
direction.
that direction.
Maybe we'll take it more seriously now, maybe not, but then maybe also in terms of branding and advertising and things like that, maybe some of these companies are going to start targeting different individuals, and then price debates will begin
But I cannot.
to happen.
Someone said that you don't farm when it's raining. Good morning, it's the news on Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mike Messi-Kennel. We begin with a report of the president's first day in office yesterday, where he, of course, met with the group chief executive officer of the NNPC and the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. His meeting with the NNPC boss may not be unconnected to the current petrol crisis and how the government can rise to the challenge in the interest of Nigerians. TVC News State correspondent Femi Akonde tells us more about the president's first day at work.
First day at work for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as he resumes office. A guard of honor welcomes the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to his official abode. After the military reception, he is received by Vice President Kashim Shettima, Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CEO of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, and other close associates of the President. But from the first day, it is clear that there is so much work to be done. The president has already started holding crucial meetings and making tough decisions. The group CEO of NNPC and the governor of the CBN met separately with President Tinubu to brief him on the state of affairs. The long queues at fueling stations across the country following the announcement of the removal of fuel subsidy seems to have gotten the attention of the president. The NNPC helmsman is emphatic that fuel subsidy can no longer be sustained.
We are very convinced today that the country can no longer fund this subsidy bill and they will not be able to pay NNPC. And therefore, we are pleased to note Mr. President's commitment to elimination of this subsidy because they can't afford it anymore. And we will take necessary steps to ensure that we recover our costs from the market, and also being mindful of the fact that, a situation like this can lead to exploitation of customers, and we're also working with the regulator who is here with me to see how we can cap any such excessive management of greed, to say the least. And this will be contained by virtue of the provisions of law. The
Vice President says the removal of petrol subsidy is one of the tough decisions that must be made in the interest of the country. And he restates President Tinubu's commitment to a better Nigeria.
The truth of the matter is that we either get rid of the fuel subsidy or the fuel subsidy gets rid of the Nigerian nation. In 2022, we spent $10 billion subsidizing the ostentatious lifestyle of the upper class of the society, because you and I benefit 90% from the oil subsidy.
For President Bola Tinubu, time has gone past basking in the euphoria of victory as the reality of governance sets in. From the first day in office, President Bola Tinubu is facing a petrol crisis inherited from the previous administration. But in the coming days, Nigerians will be watching closely to see how this government will handle the removal of fuel subsidy and ensure its impact is not badly felt by Nigerians. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Then on to foreign stories. Russian President Vladimir Putin has claimed the drone attacks on Moscow were aimed at civilian targets, accusing Kiev of trying to frighten Russia. The Russian Foreign Ministry has claimed it reserves the right to take the harshest possible measures in response to the attacks, An advisor to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says Kiev had nothing directly to do with this. Reports confirm that several residential buildings were hit and a drone was filmed flying over an affluent area of the Russian capital. Authorities in Ukraine say 4 people have been killed in Russian drone attacks on its territory in the past day. We'll take a time out and be back with the show.
All right.
Oh, man. So based on what we're discussing this morning, great to have you here, by the way. Welcome, MM. Great to have you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Based on what we're discussing this morning, I was listening to more to it and just something made me laugh. Really, really laugh. Now, Yanni Kuti, of course, one of the ladies on Your View, one of us here, gave an interview, you understand, and she said something. She said, my dad was an icon, but he wasn't a good father, as it were, to us. So I wanted to, because the Times headlines can be sensational. So I just wanted to listen exactly to what she said. And it's quite interesting, yeah. There was something she said. She said he told us not to call him daddy or father. We call him by his first name.
Wow.
So they call him fella.
Wow.
And she said one of her brothers, when she went to the kids and the kids were calling him Kule, 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 she told her, she warned the boy. The boy say, if you don't want to be an irresponsible human being, those children just stop calling you Kule. She said, but they call their father fella. He told them not to. And that's in itself. She said, so breaking it down, and I get where she's coming from. She said, look, we didn't feel special that way, his kids. He should have been like the father to all. You understand? Yeah. And there's something about iconic figures like that. At times, family or the home front tends to suffer when you give of yourself to the world that much. And so, you guys are giving of yourselves to the world. What would you rather leave? And I know the name, the Kuti name is there, and the children have benefited of it so much. But what legacy would you leave for your children? First of all, Elsie just starts off MM.
Elena does it actually.
Elena does it. She says
The
MM.
nerve on the girl. She'll just come and say, Mr. Michael Koche.
No,
or something.
That's respectful. First name, you say that you check about Kule.
No,
and that's your father.
sometimes she's just in that space. She just comes and say, MM Koche.
Wow.
And then she goes to her dad, Michael Koche.
Wow.
So,
So when you call it with the first name, this is a little bit respectful.
With the
but
first
the only first name, imagine now. Imagine your daughter just
I
comes.
actually feel that is even more. No, you call the name and when they want to warn you, that's why they call you your name and your surname.
But that
right?
it's not part about that really got me. Like, imagine your kid calling you by your first name.
But you have to consider the environment, people grow up. I know that, from different stories and articles we've read, even stories, we also visited in Ogun State, we visited the museum of the family. So you could see that their home and the shrine was the kind of place where hundreds of people would flock through time and time again. So I kind of feel it when she says, she probably didn't feel like he was just there just father to them. He was father to everyone, like you said earlier. And different mindsets can develop from that. So I feel like it's what you as a child take from your father that is important. What did you filter through eventually? But there are some cases where you have a father who is hands-on, who is, giving all the hugs and all the kisses, but then when it's time to buy milk, it's frowning. So what exactly would you prefer to give to your child? I don't know. I think it just depends on the child. It depends on what the child will value.
What would I leave to my child? Values, love, money.
Really?
Yes, no debts.
No
debts. Yes.
Okay.
There are a lot of children, there are a lot of children that I know of. I've heard cases of children whose parents died and they were left with their debts, with their parents' debts, and they had to pay.
They had to pay.
Yes.
You can't meet my father.
Yes, you have to pay for it. And then there's also a particular religion where if a family member dies, somebody has to pay that debt. Compulsorily, you have to pay it. Right. So, I mean, I don't want to leave all those loans. People will pack loans from different loan apps. And then something happens.
I choose to unidentify. If I'm there, I will identify as a cat.
Wow.
Yes.
Or
So,
something
yes.
else. No, that's not.
So
But
that is even a different situation, right? You're talking about people even leaving debts. There are people that literally end up realizing that the father literally even sold the family out.
Maybe the property.
The property and
Yes.
like, okay, fine. In those days where things like that counted and mattered,
Yeah.
right? The people themselves, you realize that you are not your own. You belong to. So yes, you have to
Come
go
and say your surname
somewhere.
has been changed.
Yes, you have to go and work somewhere to literally
Goodness
pay your
me.
sons. So it happens. So anyways, what came to my mind when you're talking about this was an interview. I watched a documentary on Nelson Mandela. And of course, he had his daughter talk about their father, his legacy, and what the implication he had on the family. And to be honest, same thing you say. I mean, as an icon, you are busy leaving a legacy out there, but then again, the home front suffered. And then luckily, he also spoke about it a little bit because he was also interviewed. And he spoke about how he wished he did certain things
I
differently.
remember this.
Yeah.
I remember this.
Yeah.
And then
So-
looking at, I also remember two other very notable interviews, Jackie Chan and who now? What's his name now? Shaquille O'Neal.
No, yeah.
Shaquille says to his kids, I am rich.
You are not. Steve Harvey
Says
said something
he's going
similar.
to, he said, except say come back with 2 degrees.
Yeah.
And then that's when I'll give you a part of, not like you'll be able to work for me and I'll give you something. But he said, go and get 2 degrees.
Yeah.
So I would rather, so the issue now, he's talking about what he would leave for his kids. He said he would rather leave his kids prepared to take on the world. Because, I mean, look at people like the Hiltons. Most of the time, you hear things like the children of the poor are the future of society, because whenever these rich kids are bequeathed wealth,
They misuse it.
they don't know. They
So now,
Not all of them. Not all of
now, does that
them.
not alone
Not all
tell
of
you
them.
the value, what should be valued
Exactly.
more? For instance, I'll give you an example. I don't know how this happened, but like I was literally reading about King David, for instance. David had riches. He had everything. Look at what happened to his sons. All of his sons literally died.
So that's why.
Weirdly. So
Yeah.
I just feel like no matter how much money you're making, I think a lot of people actually get it wrong. No matter how much money or name and fame you're making here, it's very important for you to know that there are certain values that as a father
Exactly.
you have to pass
Yeah.
on to your kids.
Because those values are
what
what
will
you're
save
going to sustain them. It's what's going to keep them. It's what's going to even help them manage those businesses.
that money that you left
Exactly.
behind.
Those monies you left behind. It is those values, and discipline is one of them. Discipline is one value.
Let
It's
me
a principle
mention
that a
something
lot
you
of
said.
people lack.
I know parents, I know a lot of people that cannot say no to their kids. When you cannot say
that
no,
one is not-
when you cannot say no to your kids, let me tell you something. Life will tell them no in a very strong way.
Yeah.
You understand? You need to be careful. You need to be very careful. So when you mention discipline, you know, that part is about maybe the most important thing. If you can teach them to be disciplined, teach them about life, and then they can go out there and build up from what you have.
There are some things you can put in place to make sure that your kids are more responsible at a certain age. But the truth is, we've talked about this thing before. If child goes spoil, it goes spoil. No matter how much you put into it, it still depends on that child as an individual and what they do with it. So even if you have like a trust fund or lawyers that say, okay, until you're 21, until you're married with 2 kids, until you have 3 degrees before you get this money, if you go squander the
So,
money,
okay, so now, so you know, there are also parents that actually say they want to work so that their kids don't go through what they
went through.
Well, my point is in everything. Yeah, some of them say, okay, fine, they go ahead and like putting estates in place, making sure, as you said, putting lawyers at this certain age and all that. But the truth is that even with all of that, there's still some core values that it depends on the child, right? But the foundation determines what the child is going to be in the end of the day. So no matter.
And the parents are the foundation of any child, of any individual. How you grow up, that's why I said values, love. The minute when you love yourself, you're able to also love other people, love what you do, love your parents, continue with, you know, even love to continue with the legacy, because we've also had cases where parents leave legacies to their kids and then the kids are
Gotta
like,
go, man. Thank you so much.
I don't-
Wonderful
yeah,
conversation.
so-
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.
But yeah, hope you're able to pick up something from there. And for me, the great fella, well, the children turned out well. All of you are enjoying it. That's all that we can take. Yeah?
let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
All right, welcome, and it's time to take a look at the headlines of the papers this morning. We have the publisher of Inside Watch Africa in the house with us, a public analyst also, Oluwaseyi Adegoke Adeyemo. This is great to have you, sir.
Thank you so
are
much.
welcome.
Thank you.
I love the way you look, by the way.
Welcome back to the show. Now, quite a lot happening on the covers of the dailies this morning. We're going to start with the Nation newspaper. Today is Wednesday, 31st of May. Now, it says here, major headline, stock market gains 1.5 trillion naira on Tinubu's policy direction. Gain is highest in 30 months. Naira firms up marginally. And the story starts there on the cover. When it comes to the stock markets, you know, because, you know, there was a public holiday on Monday, so you assess based on the very next day. How do you think this week is going to pan out?
Truth of the matter is, whenever there's a new government, usually people like to take advantage, whether it's positively, like this one, or negatively. So, yes, it's a good signal. I'm expecting that, you know, prices will keep going up because, of course, in the things that Mr. President said so far, it's clear that he has a clear agenda around economic development. It's clear that he wants to create an environment where investors will thrive. And naturally, businessmen like to hear that. That's good news for them. And, you know, it is only natural that prices will start to go up. And like you rightly said, foreign or forex will start to firm up.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's a good signal. This is just telling us that that is what they read from what Mr. President have said so far.
It shows some sort of trust in his policy or his upcoming policy. You know,
so they're looking at your posture, they're looking at how you're, because, you know, it's amazing, you know, trades. When you consider what happens at the, you know, at the stock exchange, these guys are, they look at your, you know, posture, they look at what you want to go, and that would tell them whether to place their money or to withdraw their money, to invest, and all that.
And presently people are buying.
Yes.
Up to the value of about 1.5 trillion.
Absolutely.
That's a lot.
So it looks like this is going to be a good time because, you know, it's the guys who are seated at the computer and all they do every morning is they're speculating, they're buying, they're selling, and right now it looks good, and so they've jumped on it, and that's what we have.
All right.
So many of the dailies, this is a major headline, but I would want to pick from The Guardian. Nationwide chaos and pain as stakeholders seek caution on subsidy removal. That's what you have basically, and all of this. Now we've had the CEO of NNPLC who has come up to state that, of course, look, it's not sustainable. Every person, even the opposition, they said the same thing. This is something from the past government. The president said that at his entrance, the budget didn't even allow for this. That's been paid up until June and all of that. But now with the queues and all of that, you know, blame has been thrown on the marketers and how they are hoarding and all of that. How can we expect this to play out in the next few days? Is there going to be some reprieve? How do you expect it to play out in the next few days?
So like I said before, when there's a new government, people naturally latch onto what happened. So a pronunciation has been made. We all were expecting it, but of course you then have guys who are active players in that space, you know, the marketers and all of that. So it's only natural that they'll react like this. What I expect from Mr. President is for him to tell them, look, I'm not joking about this. I mean business. It will send people out to go to, like you're having in states where people are making pronunciations already and say, if you hoard fuel in my state, I'm going to lock down your filling station and all of that. You see, basically no change is easy change. So each time there's a change, naturally people will react, particularly the players, the active players in that space, and this time around the marketers. And so that's what you see all over the place, everywhere, the chaos and all of that. So they're testing the will and strength of Mr. President. So you should show them and say, look, I'm seated here, I'm in business, I really want to have a change, I want to make sure things work, and it is expected that now it will show them that, guys, it's not business as usual. You don't come shouting or cowing us and we'll run back. If you did this, this is what we're going to do. So that is what I expect from today going forward.
So how would that pan out? How long do you think this scarcity would last?
So again, the fuel or product are in their filling station. They're there. So they just need somebody to show them, look, guys, this is not the way things will work this time around. We mean business. And you'll be shocked at, in 1 or 2 days, this can disappear because,
keep them in line.
oh yes, you just need to go out there, show them that we're not joking. Anytime we make a pronunciation, we're truly meaning at all that. The only thing I would just want to add is, Mr. President, going forward, you also explore communication. You see, he's a communication person. And so what I would want him to do more is whatever he's going to be doing or saying or taking decision on, he should please engage the people more before he make pronunciations so that he doesn't have to start dealing with things like this. But like I said, if he comes out firmly, in 1 or 2 days, all of this chaos, all of this pain will disappear.
Yeah.
But just before you go on, there's something I just want to...
Yes, I saw it here. Yeah, I saw it here, actually.
Exactly.
It says here, Tinubu reinstates sanity as DSS EFCC squabble over property in Lagos. The story is there on page 3. Of course, it is a developing story. We started hearing about this from Monday, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where the direction of this is going, and there are a lot of details that are probably not apparent to the people.
To a lot.
Yeah, but there was something he said, and which I like. He said, look, leave the property, that's talking to the DSS. Your squabbles should not be public. Don't look, your government, both of you are
whatever it is, yes.
Let's settle it, and move out first, and then it's not something you should make it all about. I mean, why should it at this? I mean, and like you said, maybe is it the uncertainty of a new government?
It's always like that. You see, everyone wants to take advantage. The decisions they probably couldn't take before because of the previous government, they're trying to take it now. And again, they're testing the wheel of Mr. President, of the day. So he needs to show them that, look, this is the way I play. This is who I am. This is what I do. I'm very assertive. Whenever I take a decision, I take it and I would stand by it. And if I need to move into things, I move into things. So for me, these are the, like they say, the morning shows the day, So the decisions is going to be taken in this first 1 week will determine, a lot of things. The way people will approach him, the way people would do things, if they would take advantage of them, if they would try him more. Because truth is, human beings, that's the way we are. You give me an inch, I'll take a mile. Give me an opportunity, I would optimize my opportunity, because at the end of the day, the way we think, if I can make this 100 million, I can save it up for my life and all of that. So basically, Mr. President needs to sit right, his team, let everybody start to see that, look, he means business, he's prepared for this, like we all believe he is very ready, he's been looking forward to this. And so the thing about their job is they don't have time to really rest. From first day, work has started, and we need to say,
Especially when it comes to headlines that we have like this on the Punch. It says here, Tinubu inherits over 16 trillion naira worth of uncompleted projects. Now, that is also something that needs to be looked into and needs to be assessed. Of course, it is developing. We'll get all the details of which projects they're talking about. But it is about hitting the ground running, don't you believe?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, there's going to be a lot of things that's going to come up after this. But fortunately, it's one person that has tried or done this before with Lagos State. And so we are expecting that as he steps into this shoe, he's able to say, okay, these are the priorities, these are the things we do now in the short term, these are the things we're going to do in the immediate term and long term. So, truth of the matter is, I don't expect anything less, one, from what is happening right now, and secondly, from Mr. President, because I believe he's the kind of person, the kind of personality and character that he has, he's able to face up to things like this. Like the Yoruba people say, it is at that very fierce place that you meet a man. And
you translate this?
I translated before. So I'll translate again. It is at the very fierce place, the strong place that you meet a man. And so every day that we wake up to one trouble or the other. When there's no trouble, it means you're dead.
Wonderful way to round this up. Thank you so much. Indeed. It's been a pleasure. Looking forward to having you much more on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
All right. Okay.
At this point, we're going to be heading over to the kitchen. Winfrey is on standby with our chef.
Welcome into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. I'm here this beautiful morning to make breakfast for you as usual. Today we're having something very, very healthy for breakfast, right? And doing this with me, or standing right here with me, is Chef Alfred. Hi, Chef Alfred.
I'm good.
How
Good morning.
you doing?
Good, thank you.
Being first time here on the show, how's that for you?
Wow, very, very interesting. First time I've been in the studio, a lot of
Wow.
cameras, a lot of beautiful people. Wow, it's so exciting.
Amazing.
to be
Okay.
here.
All right. So
Yes.
we have a whole lot here happening.
Yes.
So I spoke to you earlier. You told me that we're having salads for breakfast.
Yes.
Which is actually a very good way to start your morning, right?
Yes,
So now
please.
tell me, what salad are we making?
Okay, we are going to make a Waldorf salad and also the Alice salad.
Okay.
Yes.
Waldorf salad.
It's an Alice
Okay.
salad.
An Alice salad. Now, where are these recipes from?
Okay. For the Waldorf salad, we have the apple. Also, we have the peanut. You can use, if you like, you can use the cashew nut. You can use
Okay.
the walnut, your preference.
All right.
Also, we make use of the carrot as well.
Okay.
And of course, we have cucumber
Okay.
to go with. So we have the carrot, the apple, the peanut, and the cucumber.
All right.
And also, we dress with our mayonnaise.
All right.
Mayonnaise is going to be the dressing for the Waldorf
For
salad.
the Waldorf salad, okay.
Yes, please. And
Okay.
for the Alice, we have... Also, let me talk about the cut. For Waldorf, you can use what they call the Macedon, or you can as well just get a chunk cut of your
Because I noticed we have
vegetables.
carrots, but I noticed these
Yes.
ones are strip cuts.
Yes.
These ones are a different shape. Okay.
This is diagonal cut. This is
Diagonal cut, okay,
Yes,
okay,
so you can cut it in diagonal, you can cut in Macedon, you can as well cut in chunks, just your choice of cut.
Okay.
It's fine. So that's how we're going to cut all the vegetables we're going to use for the
the
Waldorf salad.
All right,
Yes.
all
So
right.
for the Alice, we have the shredded.
Okay.
So it comprises of the shredded green pepper, red pepper, the carrot, the orange segment.
Okay.
Okay, so our dressing for the Alice salad is going to be the we
Lemon.
call it French dressing.
French
It's
dressing.
different from the regular vinegar dressing. So
Okay.
here we use our lemon juice and olive oil
Okay.
and some pinch of parsley flakes, or you can as well use your thyme
Okay.
for the dressing.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do.
So I thought, when I saw the fruits here and the segmentation, I actually thought that we're going to have like a fruit salad and a not so fruit salad. But apparently we're having fruits in both of them.
Yes,
Apple in some,
yes,
orange in some.
yes.
I actually definitely love to see how that comes about and all of
Yes.
that. So now we're going to go on a quick break. I know there's a lot to do and there's a lot to say, but then again, when we come back, so much more.
Thank you.
We'll break it down right here. So let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back.
And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. It is time to have a conversation with Bukola Jolugbo from Joshua's Army. Very interesting organization committed to raising boys to become wholesome and exceptional leaders. And today she'll be talking to us about her commitment to grooming the boy child. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank
How are
you
you
so
doing
much.
this
I'm
morning?
very well. Thank you so much for having me.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
But I have always been an advocate for raising the boy child. I believe that so much attention is given to the girl child, and of course that shouldn't stop. But we also need to also cater to the boy child, because how we cater to them, how we groom them, will help in bringing a saner society,
Yeah.
improving the society, in raising responsible boys who would, grow up to be responsible men. So let's talk about the Joshua's Army for a bit, and what your organization has been doing in the last couple of years in grooming the boy child.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you again for having me. It's been an amazing journey with Joshua's Army. So we started, actually it's going to be 7 years that we started as an organization, a formal organization in the UK. I live in the UK, and we have been on the journey formally for 7 years as Joshua's Army. And so over the last 7 years, I think the first thing that we started with, I've got 2 boys. So in July 2015, I just gathered a few boys together and I said, you know what, including my boys. And the idea then was to say, you know what, guys, I need you to see what life is like on the other side. We're privileged, but we shouldn't take it for granted. So I took them to central London on a Saturday morning, 7 a.m., there were 6 of them with me, and we were at Central London. And seeing how people were sleeping on the streets. You needed to have seen the expression on their faces. And, you know, after that, we started an institute called the Boys for Real Academy.
Okay.
And the academy was just to train boys, to help them to understand what living deliberately is, what living with a purpose is, and how to be able to channel their strength to do the right thing. Boys are full of energy, and it's no longer enough for us to allow them go
Run wild
with their energy. How do they channel their energy? Because trust me, the boys we don't train break down the society.
Very true.
I know we say a lot rests on the shoulders of the woman, but there's this thing I always say: train the woman, don't train the man, and the man will break the woman you have trained.
Exactly.
So we need to bring that balance, and that's where Joshua's Army comes in. Also, on the journey, I'm a woman, and while I do that, I realize that there are a few things, or even a lot of things, that I don't know as a woman, but the man who has walked the path knows it. But again, do they know that these boys are looking up to them?
Yes, as much as I agree with, you know, there's that father-son relationship, but then there's also the mother-son relationship, which is a very, very intricate and delicate
You
one.
can't deal with that.
Exactly.
You can't do anything about that.
Because, yes, fathers have the roles that they play, but mothers have a stronger role that they play. Now, what is Joshua's Army doing in that regard?
In regards to mothers.
Yes.
Now, you said something that fathers have got a role they play, and mothers have got their own role.
Yes.
That means if we don't allow both roles, there will be imbalance, right? Also, you said something and I laughed because I've got sons.
Okay.
The boys' first love is the mother,
Yes.
but their first hero is
the
the father. So we need to be able to strike the balance such that the mother understands that as much as I'm his first love, he's got a hero. And I need to allow that relationship. So where does the mother come in here? It's us ensuring, creating the awareness with the mom to say, you know what, you need to be able to facilitate the relationship between dad and
the
son. I say to mothers, you deprive dad of your son, you're not depriving dad, you're depriving your son. So we need, as mothers, to be able to allow that relationship, and that's where the mothers come in. And we have a program or a circle for mothers called the Naomi's Tribe.
Naomi's Tribe, beautiful, I love it.
Naomi is a mother of boys, you know.
Yeah.
She went through her own journey, and we're all going through our own journey. But at the end of it, if we do it right, there's sweetness.
There is. I love what you said about the role of the mother, importantly, in, you know, fostering the bond between father and son. Now let's talk about the role of the father in, you know, raising a responsible man. Because like you said, boys mirror their fathers. They mirror the roles that they play in their lives. They mirror their journey, especially as children growing up. Now let's talk about that, and what is Joshua's Army doing in, you know, helping to support that relationship, and, you know, ensuring that it, you know, it improves, it gets better, that, you know, the bond between the father and son.
Yeah, and thank you so much for that question. And if you look at it, the society has an expectations of fathers, but in so many ways, we haven't allowed the fathers be fathers. Also, a lot of fathers, they want to be, but they don't even know how to be. And when they want, the ones that know how to be, that are pushing to be, they're fighting against a lot of forces. So many years ago, I read a book about a guy, a father whose wife was having a baby. And before the woman went in, they agreed, if you go through for a C-section, I'm going to take care of the baby until you're okay. And they got to the hospital, and the hospital said, no, they're not going to allow him because he's not the mother. Have you seen this movie, Fatherhood? Where, I think what's his name again? Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
When he walked into the room, and the signage on the door says, new parents. And as soon as he walked in, they said, oh, you're in the wrong room. This is for mothers. Fathers are automatically separated from the role of parenthood. And that's the awareness we're creating. A lot of fathers seem like they're laid back, but do they really want to be laid back? I remember in my own story as a mother, I've got 2 boys, and there was a day, it just dawned on me that whenever I ask my husband to do something for the boys, I say, can you please help me? I was like,
so the mothers have to be intentional
and
with their,
be able to allow, and then even the society, and that's why where Joshua's Army come in, we create a lot of events.
So quickly, you have an event coming up in August, and let's talk about that.
We have. That's one of the events we have.
Okay.
The events for fathers and sons, which is a summer hangout for fathers and sons. And we also do annual programs for dad and Adina, which is also to create the awareness and the bond between fathers and sons.
Joshua's Army is such a beautiful initiative. Thank you so much. And wishing you all the best. Keep being an inspiration.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And of course, on that, we have to head over to the kitchen, see what's cooking with Winfrey and Chef Fred.
Yeah, very, very interesting and necessary conversation, I must say there. Get the fathers involved, right? Okay, so I'm still here with Chef Alfred, and we're making salads. Waldorf salad and what's the other one?
Alice salad.
Alice salad. Now, why do these salads have these names? Do you know?
Okay, Waldorf is a hotel in America. I can't figure out the state precisely, but
okay, you can keep sizing.
Yeah, so I think the name got originated from that hotel.
From there, okay.
I must say.
Probably made the best Waldorf salad. They just made a salad and just named it after them.
Yes,
okay, so now which one are we making? Preparing the apple for now?
This for the Waldorf salad.
Oh, okay, for the Waldorf salad.
Yes,
okay, so now you're slicing the apples and you're dipping them in. Is that water? Is that water?
There's sugar water solution, just like a syrup.
Oh.
Okay, the essence of doing this is to enable the apple to retain this color.
Okay, yes, we don't want to start getting this color.
Yes, we don't. Yes, so it will look this white until we make the salad.
All right.
So for more presentation and.
Okay, so we just mix sugar and water and put it there.
Or you can use lemon if you don't want to use this sugar water
vinegar? I think I've heard this.
Yeah, you can use vinegar. Okay. The reason why I don't use vinegar because of the sharp taste you get eventually. But this one, because of what you're going to achieve, it will give it sweeter
taste. Okay. So now for Waldorf, let's see. So we have apples. What else do we need for Waldorf salad?
Okay, we have our peanuts.
Our peanuts, okay.
Yes, then we have our cucumber. And we have the
carrots. So let's get on chopping. I mean, because we have to be on time. I mean, I love the fact that we're making salads for breakfast. I think, especially Nigerians, we need to get into the
healthy food.
Exactly, healthy foods and all of that. And salad is definitely a good way to go.
Yes.
Also considering the fact that, I mean, it's really quick and you can actually just whip it up with once you have your ingredients at home. So
of
those
course,
that are just joining us, we're actually here with Chef Alfred, and we're making Waldorf and Alice salad.
Yes.
And our ingredients, right there on the screen, we have salt, sugar, apple, carrots, and of course we have lemons. We have some oranges right here. We have some cabbage. Do we have cabbage? We don't have cabbage here.
We do. We have cabbage.
We have cabbage. Yes. Oh, yeah, we have cabbage there. We have cucumber, red pepper, cashew nuts or peanuts, if you like, mayonnaise for dressing, fresh orange, green pepper, parsley flakes, white peppers, olive, or vegetable oil. Amazing.
Yes.
So now tell us, okay, so now we have to go on another break. But then again, we're going to allow you, so you're quick, to sort all of this out. I'm sure by the time we come back, we actually have
the salad ready.
Ready, Abby?
Yes,
okay,
of
that's
course.
the amazing thing about salad. It doesn't take any time at all. Okay, we're going to a quick break, and when we come back, so much more right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We'll be right back.
Good morning and welcome. It's the second lap of Wake Up Nigeria today on a Wednesday morning, our midweek edition. If you are just joining us, you've missed 1 hour of the show. We've had a wonderful 1 hour, wonderful discussions, and of course we've been in the kitchen also. But hey, we are ensuring that the next 45 minutes is going to be great for you. Now I just want to give just one word of motivation. Hey, come on, as long as there is life, there is hope. Just go out there with the will to conquer, and you definitely will do that.
All right then, welcome back. It's time for us to have our DIY segment, and we have the amazing Oyin Onoride back with us. So what are we making today, Oyin? Talk to us.
Okay, so we're going to be making a mask. We're going to be using natural plants products, natural plant extracts for our hair mask.
Okay.
We'll be doing our rice powder or rice flour in this case.
Okay.
We'll be doing our oat powder. We'll be doing our seaweed gel and our milk and our yogurt. And all these ingredients have been known to be one of the top beauty secrets for women. They've been around for a very long time.
I have to ask you though, when you said rice powder, is it same as rice flour that's used for ground rice, like the swallow? And the same oats powder used for oats, the swallow, is it the same?
Well, I wouldn't say exactly because this is 100% rice.
Okay.
So I can't really vouch for the kind of, rice powder or rice flour that, that are being produced now, if they are actually 100% rice.
Okay.
And so this is 100% rice and this is 100% whole powder.
Okay, so let's talk measurements now. Let's get straight to it because we have, a little time. I can see something in a bottle here. What's this?
Yes, this is my banana milk. I made this myself, but if you can't make it, you can always buy it in the grocery store.
Banana milk, is it banana flavored milk or a milk made from banana?
From banana.
From banana.
Yes, we'll start with this now.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, apologies.
That's
what
fine.
are we starting?
So we'll start with our rice powder.
Okay.
So we'll be doing 1 tablespoon of our rice powder.
Okay. 1 tablespoon of rice powder.
Right.
All right.
It's really very easy to make.
It kind of just reminds me of ground rice that I use for swallow. This is just one? Yeah?
Yes, that's
1 tablespoon.
And this is 1 tablespoon of our oat powder.
Oat powder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just smells like the normal oats
regular,
cereal, oat cereal.
Oats,
Yes,
okay.
that's what it smells like anyway.
All right. So then we're going to be doing our seaweed extract gel. So if you can't find the seaweed extract gel, you could do the aloe vera gel.
Okay.
So, but I just love to use the
Seaweed extract. But it has the same effect, basically.
Well, I prefer the seaweed extract. Do you know this folklore that people say that mermaids in the sea grow their hair from the seaweed, things like that. I just love to use.
Okay.
Right.
That's an angle right there. I did not see that comment coming. But it does kind of, in a sense, make sense if you are into all that kind of stuff. Now, 1 tablespoon of that?
Yes, we'll do half tablespoon, sorry.
Half a tablespoon of that.
And then we'll do our essential oils. So if you want some nice scents in your hair mask.
Yeah.
So we'll do 3 drops of our morning dew drops.
Morning dew.
Right.
So I'm not familiar with morning dew's fragrance.
Yeah, this early morning.
Okay, so
dew
I think morning dew is the name of a flower.
Yes, it's a flower.
Okay, so this is a teaspoon?
3 drops.
3 drops. Okay, then let's just go direct. 1, 2, and
3.
3. Just a bit extra there. Sorry.
That's fine.
All right.
And then we do sweet orange essential oil.
Sweet orange.
We'll do 3 drops of our sweet orange essential oil.
That actually does smell sweet. 1, 2, and 3.
That's fine.
All right.
So, and then we're going to be mixing up together. So we could use something like this, just to mix up the ingredients. And then we are going to be doing our yogurt. So this is coconut yogurt. I got this from the grocery store.
So you can just use any yogurt, essentially, right?
You could use, any yogurt, but maybe a plant yogurt.
And then for this, how much of this do we need?
We could just do like a spoon or 2 spoons.
Okay, 1 or 2 spoons.
Right.
All right. And then once you mix this together, you don't have to wait for any particular time. You don't have to heat it up. You just apply it.
No, you don't have to heat it up. It's made in naturally.
Then how long does it stay on your hair?
Like about 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
You apply this 10-15 minutes on your hair, and it actually does a lot of wonders on the scalp.
Now,
a lot of people
we have to. Sorry, we are going to be mixing this properly and probably showing you a little bit more later on. But we have to wrap it up on this now and head over for birthday shout-outs. But this is your hair mask, and with the seaweed inside, hey, you might be having a lot longer hair in the nearest future. Thank you so much, Oyi.
Thank you, Titi.
Now let's move over to a relationship where we have Nene Benchuku. Now we're going to be discussing relationship etiquette. Now she is a certified family life practitioner and of course integrated life coach with a specialty in mental wellness education. It is great to have you.
Nice to see you, Mike. How you doing?
I am very fine, thank you.
I was feeling your vibe, like you were really groovy.
the problem plenty now. You know now. So when the problem is there, just find out time. You do mental health, so of course you understand how important that is.
Exactly.
Right. But today we're talking relationship etiquette. There are many kinds of relationships. So which ones are we going to focus on for this our discussion?
Wow, that's a very good question. So, like we are sitting here now, we're already having a maybe professional relationship.
Exactly.
But across board, there are etiquettes that we should pay attention to that cuts across, whether it's a sexual relationship or a professional relationship or a platonic relationship. We'll be looking at the basic etiquettes that we should pay attention to.
I like this when it comes to all. All right, so let's get straight into it. So like you said, we already are having a relationship in a professional term or whatever. For the layman out there, what exactly do you mean by relationship? Because when you say relationship, people are already thinking about something that has to involve an intimacy. That's what people just go to. But just for the sake of the layman out there, just define relationship.
So like the word connotes, there's a verb there that says to relate. So when I relate with you, it means I am trying to talk, I'm trying to communicate, I'm trying to establish some kind of bond, whether it's for professional reasons or for social reasons or for academic reasons, whatever it is, we are trying to establish some form of, bond or some form of relationship or relate.
Relate,
so to
as
say,
it were. All right, so what are these etiquettes, these basic ones that will cut across all of them? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is going to be a big job, but let's see how you do it. I trust you can.
Okay, so, I have been here looking at the beautiful faces, seeing how comported and composed everyone has been. In other words, we understand that we need to put our best foot forth when it comes to how we communicate. But since I've been here, I've not seen anybody just slouch on the chair or, try to chew gum and, or smile very loud or say, oh, I'm so angry now. That's how my real voice is. I'm telling you. No,
sometimes
we try behind the set. That's why it's your comfort zone. So that's where we're going to get to that at some moment. Yes.
Right.
So when we start off a relationship, be it professional, if you look back at the first time you came on set, right? I'm sure you tried to really look very prim, proper, nice, well-behaved.
Definitely.
That's what we do in our relationships across board. On our first day, we put our best. But as time goes on, we get to where we call the comfort zone. And in that comfort zone, we begin to express the rest. We begin to say, okay, you should know me. But what kept that relationship at the beginning was, one, the channels of communications you left open, the respect as well that you left open. So in terms of etiquette is you putting out your good manners, putting out respect, being able to communicate with people in a way that you pass your message without being hurtful, without sounding rude, and at the same time trying to leave the communication channel open in such a way that even in the future, I can still refer back and say, oh, I had a good time with Mike. So he was good. Yeah.
That part is where I have to learn something from keeping the communication channels open. But something I wanted to ask, that comfort zone, that zone, in almost every relationship, you get into that zone, how does one factor out, or how does one ensure that that zone doesn't mean the end or the beginning of the death of that relationship? Because it happens at times. Once we get into that zone, no matter the kind of relationship, we tend to forget the things that maybe are necessary to keep that channel alive and all of that. How do you maintain it? When you're in that comfort zone, how do you get the best of the comfort zone?
Wow, yeah. So, when we say relationship is work, it's not work at the beginning, it's work in the comfort zone. Because that's when you now have to begin to understand that if I don't keep on what I started at the beginning, which is communication, now in a comfort level, I might end up just speaking with you. And most times when you speak, you forget what you said. But when I communicate, it leaves a lasting impression. That's why if most times I may not remember everything you have said, from the beginning of the show, but I will remember your vibe, your energy, your attitude, your positivity. That's what communication does. But if you said something, disrespectful, or if you were harsh, or if you just came in here and pushed the table and I I'll say this guy, you know, like is something. Yes, so that's what communication does, even in the comfort zone. You have to get to the point where you keep the communication channels open in a way that no matter what happens, I would always respect you.
Nice. I love that respect. That takes me to the next question I want to ask. There comes a time, most times, when you feel like it's one way, it's lopsided when it comes to how the relationship, you know, it takes two to tango. But then at one point, it feels like the weight of keeping this relationship, either a professional relationship or something, falls on one person so much that, you know, you're always between that distance. Should I give it up now, or I should keep pushing? You know, and people will tell you that, you know, the power is in the one who cares less. Most of the time, they'll tell you, and then respect tends to fall on the side of the person who cares to maybe keep that relationship alive, as it were. What would you have to say in situations like this? Where do you know, is there a point where you get to give up, where the respect, you know, maybe is no longer there? How do you manage such times?
Mike, this is something I actually, I could resonate with, because I recently had, you know, a session where we had this kind of scenario.
Yes, I know it's going to be so much. Just maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah.
In a nutshell, please.
In a nutshell, what I would say is, there are times before it gets to that point where it begins to drift to ghosting. You would have seen the signs, but you need to ask yourself, what made me attracted to this relationship in the first place? And it could also be that the person is going through a hard time. So before you give up on people, make the effort to stay in touch. Find out, some people, like, it's been a roller coaster for a lot of people. So if you notice that your friend is ghosting out on you, or gradually, you know, not keeping in touch, rather than assume maybe he's making money or doesn't bid, you know, try and get information, find out what's up with you. Why have you not been staying in touch? Show empathy. Be clear with what you want from that relationship. Also be precise, you know, understand that this relationship is something to you. And I like to categorize my friends in threes. So there are some that are just at the outer court. So those ones are like your followers, you know, you can't really keep in touch with all of them, right? Then we have those that are in the inner court, which is maybe your work colleagues, your hangout buddies and stuff. But there are those that are in your corner, like your holies of holies. These are people that you can literally be vulnerable around. Those are the people we need. So when your friend that is in your holies of holies gets to the point where, you know, he or she is not staying in touch, I think the onus lies on you to reach out to the person.
I wish we had more time, but we have to go now, because the next one I wanted to go into is this holy of holies. That the ones that can betray you. How do you deal with betrayal? But maybe some other time. Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you, Mike.
All right. Okay, so let's take a time out now. Stay with us. When we get back, it's our final guest on the show.
All righty then. It's time for our final conversation of this morning.
Of course.
And on the couch,
we have Femzi Osadebe, the CEO of Afro Trap Media, and a show promoter who has worked with so many artists, right?
Yeah.
And of course, gone on tours around the world.
She's going to be telling us more about her role as showbiz queen right here on the couch. It's great to have you with us. Welcome.
Nice to meet you too.
I love the beads, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm loving it.
Have to represent Nigeria.
So just talk to us about a day in the life of a show promoter.
Well, a day in our life, we strategize based on what's the concept. Are we doing a tour or are we doing an event? If we're focusing on an event, who is the artist?
Okay.
Then you focus on the artist, and the artist becomes, in a way, your selling point. You kind of use the artist to do promotions. You do things like awareness, word of mouth, communicating with university students. If it's depending on what type of audience you're targeting. So a day in my life would mainly be focusing on preparing for a tour or a show, and focusing on making sure it actually happens, getting the contracts in. Countries like, for example, if you're going to Belgium or you're going to the UK, you have like rules whereby you need work permit, you need this, you need that. So getting all the paperwork in as well.
Okay. It feels like it's a cross between being an event planner, being a momager, being a travel consultant, and a lot of things all together, don't you think?
Yeah, of course, definitely. So I think my question now is, okay, I mean, we see these amazing shows. I mean, we're in the time and days where we have so many events happening left, right, centers. We have artists, known and unknown, going on tours, having stage performances and all that kind of stuff. So now I want to know, so when we're looking at all of these things happening, right, how much is the work of the show promoter as opposed to how much is the work of the artist? Because most times we actually see David is having stuff and we see him everywhere. So like what is the...
I think with the shows, the show promoter is more responsible for everything. And the artist, he brings his creative, unique songs that everyone knows already. But the promoter organizes it and creates the event.
The entire thing.
Yeah, make sure it actually happens.
So I want to touch a bit on the issue of shows now. We've heard quite a few times that, you know, artists get to the venue late.
Yes.
And, you know, sometimes they don't show up. So a lot of people on social media don't exactly know who exactly is to blame. And they end up pushing a lot of it to the artist because that's the face they see. But what's your opinion on that?
It depends. Logistic manager. There should be a logistic manager in place who is planning what time should the artist be at the venue, what time is the artist doing their mic check, outfits, all of that. That's normally on the manager and the promoter, not actually on the artist all the time, unless the artist is like a snob.
So exactly. So I was going to say now, how do you handle like difficult artists that actually flout all these rules and guides you actually give them? How do you handle that?
Well, the thing is, you kind of have to remind them that this is your face is out there. At the end of the day, it's not my face. So your music, your fans. If you want to have your fans fall in love with you over and over again, you have to make sure you show them that time and effort and not make them feel like, oh, I'm too big, I can't be bothered. And most artists, they actually realize it. Some don't, but when it comes to actually working and knowing that they've been prepping for this show for the last 3 months, they kind of already know they have to be at a particular space.
I was going to touch on the difference between working with a male artist and a female artist. And in your opinion, who are more challenging to work with?
Funny enough, I've never really actually worked with a female artist.
Is that intentional?
No, I've tried so many times. Like I would reach out to them, and it's just like, they can't be bothered with. I don't know. Maybe it's a female to female thing in entertainment. But with male, it's more like they just get on with their work. And with females, you have more responsibilities. Like you're looking out for them, getting to the venue, Unlike males, they're more independent, even as artists. And females, they're more like, no, we need to do our makeup, we need to do this, we need to do... So I think it's going to be much more harder, but I haven't actually worked with one.
All right. So now I have this question. Now, when you're selecting an artist to work with, do you come with anyone? Do you go with anyone that reaches out to you? Or what is it? For instance, you say you've reached out to a number of them. So what are those things you look out for before you say, okay, you know what, I want to work with this person? Or is it just anyone?
I look out for what's currently trending out there, not out here. Because out here, everything starts, then we start listening to all the other songs. So I look at what's got potentials. Like, for example, we're doing the Spyro UK tour in the next 2 weeks. And I reached out to him about February before he released the Tiwa song. And it was more like I saw that potential.
Even
like,
before it got that big.
So you kind of like, if you've managed an artist, you've worked in entertainment, you know what your audience want. You know how to target what your audience want because you've got your own.
So, you know, in many different fields, you sort of have like should I use the word rate card for the services you provide? You know, you as a creative, someone in the industry. So I've always wondered how promoters are able to charge.
Yeah.
And who are they charging? Are they charging the artists, you know? And then, so how exactly does a show promoter make their money? Do they make it off ticket sales? Do they make it off other things the artist is doing? You need to let us into some of the background.
There's different types of making money.
All right.
Okay, so as a tour manager, you can make money off selling the artist
Okay.
for a particular price. Then you have an agreement with the management and the artist. This is your fee. This is how much I'm going to sell you, but this is how much I'm giving you.
Okay.
So that's how, as a tour manager. Now, as just an events promoter, it's more based on your ticket sales, and yeah, that is also depends on how you sell. Like, for example, in the UK, you have a standard ticket for like £20–25. So as a promoter, you estimate your profit already before you actually do the show.
Okay.
And carefully, like I would do something like, the capacity is 500 times £25. I wouldn't calculate the VIPs or anything.
Okay.
I would use that to estimate what I'm gonna make. Then, like that, I can now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
have
I'm
those
good.
discussions.
Okay, so I was actually going to ask this question because, I mean, last year, December, we had Ashake selling tickets at 70K per ticket, right? And people were wondering, like, this is strange.
So that's $100. That's about
So we've not, this is strange. So I'm thinking, now, how much does the artist influence the price of the tickets?
Not much.
Not much. So that was not him.
The artist gets a fee or has an agreement with the management. You're getting 50% of this whole show.
Okay.
But actually, the people prepping are the ones making the decision.
Wow.
But then again, for him to be able to charge that high is based on his brand and
Management,
what
yeah.
he has done with the brand. So still, he doesn't have so much of a say in it.
You wouldn't see an artist really selling his own tickets.
Well, his name does it.
His name does.
His name
Especially if
and
he has
his
influential fans.
management can kind of like have an idea of what works for the artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for letting us in on your back end strategy. It's like we're in a boardroom just now. Like, so would you like to be a show promoter, Woodfree? I think we should do like a masterclass on this.
Yeah.
Actually.
We're going to be heading to the kitchen soon, but as we take a stroll to the kitchen, I would love to know, you know, if do you think it's easier as a female or not?
Whew. Interesting. No way, I don't know how to answer that because when I started, I used to feel like, is it because I'm a female?
Yeah.
I'm not getting the opportunities I want. But then, oopsie, there we go.
Oh, lovely. Okay, go ahead.
Then I realized, no, they just want to see if I can deliver. But being a female, you think, oh, I'm being looked down on, I'm not being respected enough when I'm talking. But it's not that. What have you done is what people want to see before they work with you. They don't want to know whether you're a female or a male. And we put that in entertainment, we intend to put that forward, but it's not always the truth.
Amen to that.
Amazing. Okay, so now welcome into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. I have Chef Alfred standing here, and he made this amazing salads right from scratch right here in our kitchen. Now, he's Chef Alfred. So we have here
Alice salad.
Alice salad?
Yes.
Okay.
And this world of salad.
And the world of salad.
Oh,
so you said this one was for diet?
Yes.
Okay.
For diet.
Okay, so tell us what
This is
exactly we have
salad.
in there.
Okay, here we have the apple, we have the cabbage, we have the cucumber, we have the carrots, we have the orange segment.
Ooh. And for the dressing?
And dressing, we have the French vinaigrette.
Okay.
It's not the regular vinaigrette, it's a very light vinaigrette sauce. Yes.
All right. Like for you to
So-
try
Please
it out?
have it tasted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And let us know
Would you
what
like to use the
think.
vinaigrette?
Yes.
Ooh.
All right, just pour it on.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Ooh. That looks really good.
Yummy.
I'm a big salad fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's entering.
It's juicy. Nice. All right. I think we have our verdicts there. Well done, Chef. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thanks to everyone who joined us on this amazing Wednesday edition. Tomorrow is Artsy Thursday. Looking forward to being here with you again.
Yeah.
Until tomorrow, goodbye.
Bye.